Tonight, we continue to put a spotlight on the towns and people who make West Michigan so unique.
In our latest edition of West Michigan Stories, Fox 17's Kevin Craig is looking at the newest business to join the Fennville community. He's live now in Allegan County with more on this. So what are you serving up, Kevin?
Well, we're sitting at the bar in the old Fennville Hotel. It's now called the Stevens Hotel. It is a bar and grill right now. There's a lot of fabulous history here, which we're going to get to in the 6 o'clock hour. But this time, we're going to tell you about a little bit of a different story. I want to remind you folks, if you want to come down and be part of the action here, we'll be here on Main Street at the Stevens Hotel until 7 o'clock here. Come on down and have fun, or be part of the fun at least. The other thing we'll let you know about, too, if you have any story ideas for your town, your city, your village, put them on our Fox 17 Facebook page, because we want to hear about them. Give us some ideas about why we should come out and see your particular town, city, village. And you know, I've been doing this for probably the last couple of months now, these West Michigan stories going all over, and a lot of them have focused on personal profiles or some kind of historical attribute in the city or the town. This one today that you're going to hear is totally different. It's all about a brand new business to West Michigan, to Allegan County, and to Fennville. Recently constructed in an open field in December, this 8,000 square foot facility became home to Virtue Cider. 20-year veteran brewmaster, founder, and Chicago native Gregory Hall has been vacationing in West Michigan for more than 30 years. He says Fennville was the perfect choice for a hard cider plant.
Michigan grows the best apples in the country.
If you're not familiar with the process, making hard cider is different than beer. Apples are pressed for juice and fermented with yeast. Beer is brewed by heating it and adding water.
You start off with the apples, different varieties of apples, different levels of acidity and tannin. You can pick the apple and press it when it's freshly picked, or when it's ripe, or when it's overripe.
There are literally hundreds of different flavors of hard cider. The length of fermentation, type of yeast used, and the temperature also affect the final product. But is there really a market for hard cider?
You go to a good liquor store and they might have 5,000 wines and 1,000 beers and 500 whiskeys and half a dozen ciders. So there's a lot of opportunity for the Michigan cider makers to get some more distribution out there.
When the apples arrive in the fall, they're pressed in the juice and stored in these large juice tanks. They're then transferred to 22 stainless steel tanks for 3 to 5 weeks, where yeast is added for fermentation. Each tank holds 2,000 gallons, so they can make 44,000 gallons at a time. That's about 200,000 gallons each year.
After the cider has been fermented, we age it in oak barrels. These are French oak. We also use some American oak barrels, and then some used bourbon barrels. So each different barrel will give the cider a different flavor.
Each barrel holds 60 gallons, can be filled in minutes, and holds about $8,000 in hard cider.
Barrel made of French oak that was filled with California wine, and then we got it. We actually aged some cider in it already. We dumped that out, and that cider's in the market, and we're filling it with a new cider that will probably age for the next 6 months to a year before it's ready. While the goal will be to produce about a dozen different flavors of hard cider each year, don't look for Virtue Cider in the grocery store.
It's all draft. We don't do any bottling of our cider other than the stuff we sell right here at the Cider House. So if you're looking for us, look for us in your favorite bars and restaurants on tap.
And we're back here live at the Stevens Hotel on Main Street in downtown Fennville. Come on out. We still got another story to do at 6 o'clock. Hey, one of the other things that when I mentioned about Virtue Cider, as we said, they're very new to the area. They just started up in December. They actually will hit the market across West Michigan April 1st. So this is a very, very new thing, and they're just now starting to roll that out. So look for that. Got a gentleman here who's been coming to the Stevens Hotel, which is now a bar and grill, for the last 17 years. What's your name?
My name is Bob Beam.
Bob Beam. That's like Jimmy Beam.
Just like Jim.
Jim Beam. Tell me about this place as a meeting place. It's a pretty popular one, isn't it?
It's very popular. It's a small town atmosphere, and I came from a small town in Hartford, and it's nice to come in the door, and when you walk in, everyone knows who you are. You know, it's kind of like the old Cheers deal with Norm. You walk in, my name's Bob. Everybody says, "How you doing, Bob?" You know, it's a great place to come.
If I may say, I wouldn't expect anybody but but a Mr. Beam to be sitting at the bar. Thanks, Mr. Beam. One more quick interview here, real quick. What's your name, sir?
Nate Unken.
Nate, you've been coming here for a while too, haven't you? You grew up here.
I grew up here. I graduated from Fennville.
Tell me what's cool about Fennville nobody knows about.
Oh, they got the best burgers in town and pizza here.
We're going to talk about the burgers and the pizza. Thank you very much. I got to mention one more thing too. By the way, we had the Virtue Cider story. One more thing. They are going to be part of the Great Lakes International Cider Competition, which is a 4-day event in downtown Grand Rapids coming up. Cider makers from all over the world come to that, and they're going to be competing in that coming up. I believe it's at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. We got another story coming to you about the Stevens Hotel. This place is over 100 years old. They got an old bowling alley from the 30s downstairs. We're going to find out all about that coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. So we'll see you then. And by the way, if you want any more information on Virtue Cider, go to fox17online.com. The story is there. For now, in Fennville, I'm Kevin Craig, Fox 17 News. Let's throw back to Rick Mecklenburg. Rick?
Hey,